With another episode of International Studies Season 1, Episode 3. Hope you guys enjoyed the first two. We had a lot of fun doing those in class and online. And it is my absolute pleasure. After what? Tons of frustration.
Stop feeding the cat! No!
These guys, the laptop here, this one here.
No, sir. It wasn't me, sir. I swear it wasn't.
Finally, we've been able to get the tech up and running. Hope we get better resolution soon. Yeah, not just better resolution, better stuff actually, but I'm not going to talk about that. But yes, after all that work, we finally have this episode ready. It's my absolute pleasure to present them to you.
Ta-da! 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 Ta-da!
So, present it to you. Sorry, not that, not plural. It. Yes, so what do we have here? North and South America. Well, let's dive into it, shall we? So today what are we looking at? We're looking at the land area, whether Greenland is part of North America or not, and North America became what they are today, great ancient American civilizations, the Incas and the Aztecs, Central America, the Caribbean, and we. So, when we talk about North and South America, we're looking at the area from Canada all the way up north, all the way down to Chile and Argentina and the adjoining islands in the south. Alright, this place wasn't known to the Europeans before Christopher Columbus apparently got there. So when it was first discovered, it was called the New World. So if you read various documents and you find references to the New World, we are talking about North and South America. So this is what the continent looks like today.
Members, I want you to bend over and look. Come on, bend down, go.
This is North America. Up north we can see our dear Canadians. We have Canada here. This portion you see over here, Alaska. The side which looks like the head of a turkey. Yeah, though that was actually, from what I get, it was bought by the US from the Russians. Actually, fact check me on that one. And then you have the continental United States down here, you have Mexico, then you go down south, you have Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits. You name it! God damn it!
You look at the islands on that side, you have tons of them. We're not going to mention all of their names, we did that in class already. So, wait. Let's see, who's next?
But look at here! Look!
South America. So you come down all the way to Panama, then you get to Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname. You have French Guyana, which is not Guyana. So, with better in mind, the French should tell you everything you need to know about it. So yeah, say we have Ecuador, and interesting fact, Ecuador is actually named after the equator. We talked about that in class. We need to go jibber jabber by the way here. Peru, we have Brazil, we have Bolivia, Paraguay, we have Uruguay, we have Argentina, we have Chile. So for those of you who are preparing for monsters, this is a very fertile ground for you to get those absolutely delicious, salubrious countries to outdo your friends in that daredevil adventure of winning the ultimate prize in the monsters competition and the micros. Yeah, it's some very, very, shall we say, mouth-watering incentives. Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, prepare. What do we have next? So when you put them together, you get this. But then ask yourself, what's that fat meatloaf here at the top? So if you look at, you have Canada, all right? You have the US, you have South America. You notice there's a certain portion on this map which is also red, which we put on, which is supposedly part of North and South America? Well, let's find out. That place is called Greenland, and it's essentially a territory or a piece of land that Denmark owns. The country, the Kingdom of Denmark, owns, rules, and runs. Now, Denmark is aligned with Europe. Denmark is not in North, it's not part of North and South America, but Greenland physically is. But because they are run by Denmark, because that land is administered, ruled by Denmark, they align culturally when it comes to things that they have to do. They are more likely to side with the Europeans than to side with the North and South American group. You understand?
Okay.
I visited, yes.
So, yeah, it's an autonomous region. We discussed the idea of autonomy in class, where you have certain rights to do certain things your own way that all other people don't. So, yeah, so nothing else to say, is there? So, how did North and South America become what they are today? Well, let's read. There were great civilizations inhabiting the region for thousands of years. Now, as we discussed in the continent in episode 1 and episode 2, Africa, Europe, and Asia, the lands weren't just there. People were on them before we came on them. Things happened to them. They were divided differently. How was the land divided then? Which countries, which people occupied the land before the land, say, became Peru, Bolivia? Just like we discussed in Africa with the
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Ancient Ghana Empire, the ancient Mali Empire, the same thing was done here. I mean, it was done literally everywhere on Earth except Antarctica. We'll come to Antarctica next time we get here. So, before the countries you have to be, before the arrival of the Spanish, Spanish and Portuguese, who came to conquer the area known as South America today, and that's before the arrival of Christopher Columbus, when the New World, that's North and South America, were discovered. People were doing business, people were working, people were living, people were, dying. Yeah, that one's part of it too. And there were particular groups of people who did great things in the area, who had empires. We've already discussed the concept of empires. If you do not remember, kindly check out season 1, episode 1, or episode 2 for a recap of what we said in episode 1. If you still have questions,
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
well, don't worry about it. Just drop them down in the comment section below and I'll do my very best to help you out. Okay, I'll continue. So there were great civilizations inhabiting the region for thousands of years. We're looking at the Incas and the Aztecs, who were said to have built magnificent pyramids and other incredible, mind-blowing infrastructure like the Shinkana and many earthquake-proof temples with gold and silver effigies. Europeans discovered the continent around between the early 14th and 15th centuries. So we're looking at almost 500 to 600 years ago. That's when this happened. And they did some pretty awesome stuff. Like these temples, for example, especially in South America, you get a lot of earthquakes, and you should see what an earthquake does to a building. It turns it into cornflakes.
Que se salgan.
Now, they were able to build structures that are earthquake-proof. Now, that's some awesome, mind-blowing engineering. And we'll see in the later phases certain things they did which were incredible, mind-blowing stuff. So when the Europeans came, they fought, they enslaved, and sometimes work with the native people, but a lot of them did die through fighting. A lot of the native people, the people who were there before the Europeans came, they died because one, European diseases like smallpox, which we looked at in class, and the fighting the Europeans too, obviously. And the Europeans, for the most part, they were better armed and incredibly good at beating the next person up. I mean, come on.
Stop feeding the cat! No!
These guys were especially good, the Spanish, the Europeans. They were better at beating and enslaving others than anyone else at the time. And so, yeah, no one talked, just like in the era before. At a certain point in time, Europeans were used as slaves by the Arabs. The Arabs, you had the North African Berbers who invaded Europe several times. The Moors occupied it. Took several years for the Spanish to expel them. So yes, that was the way of the world at the time. When it's your time, you conquer and enslave. When it's the other guy's turn, he conquers and enslaves. Whoever is better at it at that point in time is the master of the universe. Very simple. Brutal too. Not quite wise. So yeah. So the Incas and Mayas had been using cocoa and gold for thousands of years as their currency and for food. Human sacrifice was normal. They sacrificed a woman who had not been in the land, a virgin, and some other people to their gods. They killed them for their gods. So yeah. So the Spanish invaders found cocoa, took it back to Spain, and made them rich.
I'm rich, bitch!
The English traders who found it, they weren't able to pronounce cacao, so they called it cocoa. The reason why we call it cocoa. According to Alan Donald, the Nutrific Chocolate. Excellent book, I recommend that book. It's an excellent read. So yes, just like the tea, remember how come? British did love their chocolate. So yes, let's look at some of the things the Incas did. Spectacular stuff. So over here you can see the area they occupied. Over here, this is the region between Bolivia, today Bolivia, certain parts of Ecuador and Peru. This is below here. You can see what they used to adorn their temples. Gold, which when the Spanish came, they took the store. This is one of their ancient cities, Machu Picchu. You can still go there today and find these buildings that were there 800 years ago, 700 years ago. Yeah, they actually built this in the mountains. I mean, look at just how splendid it looks. And look at this area down here. I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
This is beautiful. So yeah, these are just some of the things they did. You can also look at the Mayan civilization. They actually built pyramids. This was in an area in the capital city, Tenochtitlan. This is a map of the Aztec Empire. You see, it covers almost the whole of Central America. Impressive. The area from south of Mexico, all the way to the Guatemalan area, all the way down here to Panama. It's impressive. Down here, where the mouse pointer is showing, is an artist's impression of what Tenochtitlan, their capital city, looked like.
Okay.
I visited, yes.
So, let's look at the languages of South America. So, the area in green is Portuguese. Now, don't kid yourself into thinking that the Portuguese Brazilians speak is the same as the Portuguese that Portuguese people speak. There's quite some difference in it. But essentially they are, well, let me put it this way. Portugal colonized Brazil. You see where I'm going with this. That's simple. Now you see all the areas in orange are the areas that the Spanish colonized. So they speak Spanish. also decided to take a slice out of the South American pie, and that's their tiny little portion in violet. The French also did their best. The English such limited success here. Or the only place they have is the island down there, over here, called the Falkland Islands, which they fought a war with Argentina to own, and they actually won that war. So yeah.
Okay.
I visited, yes.
So let's take a look at Central America and the Caribbean. Central America is the area between the south of Mexico and Panama. Alright? So if we look at the map here, you're looking at Guatemala, Belize, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. That is Central America. Keep that in mind. Very essential. When you hear Central America, you shouldn't go to either North or South America. Just look at after Mexico, all those countries which aren't islands. Because the islands or the archipelagos are going to become very important when we decide to, as we're going to do now, look at the Caribbean. Now, this is the Caribbean. Miami, this is Florida, this is a part of the US. Then you have Nassau. So you're looking at every island all the way down here. Of course, pay attention. This, Caracas, Venezuela, not part of the Caribbean. You're looking at the islands here. So let's go through them one after the other. You have Cuba. Fidel Castro. Should remember, the dude, Castro. So you have Nassau. You have the Cayman Islands, owned by the UK. You have Jamaica. Then you have Port-au-Prince, Haiti. That's the capital, Port-au-Prince. You have Santo Domingo, the capital of the Dominican Republic. When I say the capital, I'm referencing the country. So think more about the countries and less about the capitals. You have Turks and Caicos Islands owned by the UK. You have the Virgin Islands. You have the British Virgin Islands. You have Puerto Rico by the US. And then you have Anguilla, Saint Martin, or whatever it is, the Netherlands, Saint Bartholomew.
Do you want me to disappear?
These are all territories. Those ones I mentioned here. Here they are. From Virgin Islands all the way to Saint Bartholomew. These are all territories owned by France, US, UK, the Netherlands. St. Kitts and Nevis is a country. Antigua and Barbuda, country. Guadeloupe is an overseas territory of France, same as Martinique. Dominica is a country. St. Lucia is a country. Barbados is a country. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a country. Aruba and Curaçao are both Dutch territory. So if someone is from the Netherlands or from Holland, the person is Dutch. It is different from the pronunciation Dutch, which is that's Deutsch. Yeah, that's the pronunciation in German of German. Like you say, what you call French in French, le français. Deutsch is that's D-E-U-T-C-H. Yes, that's the pronunciation of German in German, Deutsch. But this is Dutch, D-U-T-C-H. That's the English word for someone from the Netherlands or Holland. It is one and the same place.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
When you say Holland, it's the same as the Netherlands. So remember that. Very geography. So yes, let's continue with our story about how North and South America became what they are today. The Spanish conquered almost all areas of North and South America except Brazil, Haiti, Guyana, and Jamaica. The French controlled Haiti, the Portuguese controlled Brazil. The countries that speak Spanish were colonized by the Spanish, as we saw a couple of minutes ago. They made a lot of money taking gold and silver out of the region for themselves. I read somewhere that platinum is one of the world's most expensive, rarest metals. They used to throw platinum away. Incredible. The Spanish used to throw platinum away because they didn't know what it was for. And they called it, I think they called it platino, like little silver or something. I read this somewhere. Might be correct, might be wrong. Just interesting. Whatever. So they controlled the region for a few hundred years, and then there were wars of independence, after which the Spanish and Portuguese were kicked out of South and Central America through many little struggles, sometimes with South Americans themselves. Independent countries were formed in the area. One person who had a lot to do with the Spanish losing a lot of their land was Simon Bolivar, the guy after which Bolivia is named. That guy did such an interesting work in South America. I actually recommend you guys visit the Extra History channel to check out his life story. Those guys at Extra History do a fantastic job. It's a channel I 100% recommend. You guys should check it out. Most likely I'll send you the links in the email notifications and stuff. But man, you'll enjoy yourselves, I tell you. So the French lost Haiti because the slaves rebelled. Yeah, the French used to keep slaves in Haiti. They had slaves, they kept them. And the slaves got angry one day and fought the French and won. The leader of the slave rebellion in Haiti was Toussaint Louverture. Up north, the British and French went and ruled over the same way they came here and ruled over areas of this land we now call Ghana. Went over there and ruled over areas that we call Canada. Now so that's why you find that Canada has two official languages, English and French. These two European languages are official languages there. Now, the French area is an area called Quebec. And if you read a little on it, you'll find it trying to make themselves independent for some time. Hasn't been exactly successful. While all this was going on, the Europeans were sending slaves from Africa to North and South America, the transatlantic slave trade. America, the United States of America, was controlled by Britain. The Americans did not like it, and so they fought a war of independence against the British and won, and became an independent country on the 4th of July, 1776.
That's great. Very great.
Yes. I mentioned Simon Bolivar. Since I got ahead of myself. So yeah. So fast facts of North America. We're looking at a population of 579 million plus. As you know, with population there's always a plus. Unless of course you're dealing with an area like Cambodia during Pol Pot, in which case the population would be a minus. Don't worry, when we get to political and economic ideologies, we'll look at that particular episode. It's not fun, but it's true and you ought to know. So the largest economy in North America is US of A, number of countries 23. Fast fact in South America, we have a population of 429 million. We have the largest economy in Brazil and 12 countries in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this episode. I'm 100% happy to bring it to you. This was fun and exciting. I hope to catch you all soon. If you have any comments, any questions, please put them down in the comment section below. Even things from past that you don't quite remember, you can ask me over there. I won't be such a hard ass on you. Just put it down there and I'll respond. Of course, stay polite, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, go for all, and when you click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon, very, very soon. Absolute pleasure to bring this to you. I have nothing else to say, so ciao, arrivederci, bye bye.